Okay, so I want to talk to you about, trying to figure out where that left off. I seen a vision of a man's arm, and it had its, they had their arm out like they hold an eagle, and it was an eagle that the man was holding on the arm. He had that great big old glove on his arm, because those eagles got those sharp claws on them. And at the foot of it, holding it, it had a chain on the ankle of the eagle's foot, and the chain was a pretty big chain. But I had the sense of, when I seen that vision, that the eagle's ready to fly. And I know what it talks about in the scripture about the feast of the Lord, which would be Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, or Yahweh, or however you say that name. And I know that people have a problem, with the scripture, but what I'm telling you about is that you got to get in there, because if you want to understand what's really happening in the earth, because it's fixing to get bad. For real, for people that don't know the Creator. And that's why I'm here, is to tell people that there are real entities beyond being really alive in the earth realm that are looking for life so that they can continue to live, but they're dead. And I know that's the craziest thing, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And these things that they got people afraid and doing things for them because they're controlled. And it's a Jezebel spirit. It's a it's just the end time. It's the Mashiach spirit that's here, and the teachers here, and there's so much. But the thing about the eagle that I love is the eagle will push its babies out of the tree, out of the nest, and they'll make them fly on their own. And that's what's happened to a lot of us. The Creator has pushed us out of the net, and is literally, I've been literally pushed out of my city. But that's okay, because the Creator, the eagle will allow its child to go so far, and then it'll help it. It'll bring it back. It'll bring it back to the nest if it needs to be. But that's what I seen a man holding his arm out and had a big eagle. And the thing about that eagle is, I went to my son's house one time last summer, and he had a picture of the eagle, and me and that eagle, that picture just caught my eye. I just stared at it. It was as if it was looking, it probably had something in it. The people use magic and things like that. I've been being watched since I was a child. Okay, I know that I've been being watched since I was a child. I know that when I used to race in school, I would always come in third place. Always third. And I'm in number 3, and this for a reason. Because people know who I really am, and know what I really am about. And I am from a royal family. And they know that. They know that. And I've been set up because of people in my true family, in this royal family that I don't even know personally, but I know they know me, and I know that people have had their eyes on me for a long, long time. And there's also been blood contract upon my life as well that I didn't know about, but the Creator told me about. And when a person's born, what can a baby do? Nothing at its birth. And whatever happened with me, spiritually, with the blood covenant that was made over my life, I stand up with the full knowledge of what I know fully that has been revealed to me by the Creator, and I take authority over that covenant, and I break it. I destroy that, because you don't have my approval to do anything. Therefore, everything that I have done since I was a child to be led into where I'm at right now, I've never been married then, because I now see that everything that happened to me was placed there on purpose for that reason, to either trip me up. Look, I married somebody who literally was dead. I don't believe he was dead when I first married him, but something happened in the middle of our marriage. Something happened. Things changed, and I told you about that dream that I had about somebody coming and cut his head off, and he had no blood in him. There are people walking around no blood. There are people walking around with blood. There are spirits walking around. There's all kinds of different things in this earth realm. And there are people that truly, well, anyway. But anyway, so I take authority over that covenant that was made over my life from childbirth. Whoever I am, whatever I am, I belong to the Creator, and He knew who I was. And He didn't lose any of His children in the dispersion at all. He knows who we all are, and He's got us named, and He's got us on the path back to where the Creator wants us to be, and He wants us to stand upright. People keep saying, "You're right, you're right." Well, I know Teman came from Elohim, which they say God in the Bible. It says Elohim came from Teman, which is on the right, which is also on the south, which is also connected. Well, I don't know if it's connected to, but Adam has also people named in the scripture as Teman, and I don't know if there's any connection to that or not. It could be. It doesn't have to be. You'd have to prove that to me. Just because it's there, there is a connection there. I'm not going to, say it's not. But then it said, and the Holy One came from Mount Paran, which is really strange because everything in my life has had some kind of physical thing, and then it has played out, and I could see it spiritually, or vice versa, or whatever. But we lived in this place. It was on a mountain, and we were going to this church, and the Creator had told me that it was time to leave this church. And when I was leaving that church, we had a pear tree, and He had me give a whole, sack full of, a bag full of these pears to the church. And I know people they got questions about me, and they know who I am. I know that I'm a queen. I know that because Scripture tells me who I am. He's got people in the earth realm that are kings and queens and priests all over the place. And they're trying to shut the little king down. And I'm not the little king with the little horn between I'm not that. I'm a person, and I'm a daughter of the Creator. And when I was a little girl, I had a queen-size bed. And I always wondered about that growing up. Like, it's really weird that I'd have even a queen-size bed. And He's told me things about myself, and has called me daughter and called me queen. And if you are of this household, then you know that you are as well. You're a king, you're a queen, you're a child of the great King of glory. And like I said, Book of Samuel talks about David had a covenant with both El and Yah, whatever that means. He's got a remnant. He's got a remnant that's going to be saved. And I'm part of this remnant. And, did I already talk about? There's so much I want to share and get out, but I know I only got so much to. The 9, the I think I talked about that on the other video. Being a part of the mark and all that kind of stuff. Well, when people talk about, I was talking about the zodiac, which the Hebrew, I think the Hebrew name in the scripture calls it the Maserati, or no, something like that. I can't remember. Something, I don't know what it's called in the Hebrew, but anyway, it's in the Bible. But anyway, the 9th house would be Sagittarius. And that is also a teacher sign. But it's also half man, half horse. And they wouldn't call that a beast. Okay, well, that's also representing, can be representative Manasses. Manasses? Has anybody ever thought of that? I don't know. You know, people look at things different and interpret things different. We all do it, and we can only do it by spirit, because spirit is everywhere and can be interpreted in so many different shapes and forms and situations, and manifests itself in all kinds of ways. That's why it's very important what we write down, very important what we say, you know, from a place of purity, because if your conscience is not upright. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about going to the right. But anyway, if your conscience is not upright, then you're not of the Creator who wants us to operate in a place of kindness and gentleness and peace and hope. And some people just don't like that. I don't know why, but they just don't like that. So they're either demonic entities or they're dead spirits that are trying to come after the Creator's people. Being on the right, somebody was talking about, you know, you're on the right, you're on the right. Well, if you're making that connection because of Teman, which is God or Elohim coming from Teman, the T, man, and the T is the mark, it's the signature and all that kind of stuff. And then the Holy One from Mount Paran. I haven't studied all of that. All I know is that I'm a daughter of the great King. And to be upright, you can be on the right and be upright. And if that covenant that David was talking about in the book of Samuel, then obviously he's going to have that T somewhere on him, so that he is protected. Because I've told you over and over that the Creator has told me that I'm protected. My name, when I said, you know, my name's Shannon, but you can call me Hannah now. But my name has 4 of the letters of Noah within it. It has within it, at the root name, the H, the Hin is protection. So it's, you can say Hin, and the phonics of Hin is also in my name, like 2 or 3 times. So if you want to say, well, you're on the right, you're on the right. Well, I want to be on the right where I'm upright. I don't want to be on the left or the right. I'm going to be upright. Because when we're upright, that's totally different. Okay? If you're not protected, then you're not protected. I don't know about you. If my words don't touch you for righteousness' sake and wanting to do the correct thing, then you're none of His. None of the Creator has anything to do with you then. You're lost. And that's just the way it is. But if my words for righteousness' sake touches you and makes you want to be upright, then that's beautiful. You belong to the Creator, and He's trying to save you from this wickedness that's all around us, because it's time. The time is up on these people who have had their grip and their chain. It's time for us to fly like the eagle, to fly high, because there is a great feast coming. He's feeding the animals. He's feeding everyone what everyone deserves, because He also says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You have to have knowledge and understand, but we've been taught wrong. That's why He's having mercy and grace on those that He really can see down in the heart and really see what's there. But it's the higher heart. It's not eating flesh and drinking blood. That's made people go crazy. That's made the world go crazy. It's what we're dealing with right now. What else did I want to share? I'm trying to touch on just as much as I can. So much. The name Hannah, when I said the other day, I said just call me Hannah for short. And the other day, the Creator allowed me to see that name. And so I just went to the Greek, or not the Greek, the Hebrew at the root of that name, and it means a true Israelitess. That's beautiful. And you know, one of my daughter-in-laws, and I don't know her very well, but she is the mother of my eldest grandson, whose name, you know, is connected with the organization that I'm dealing with. But how ironic that I was talking about the Mashiach and the Nous Ma that's happening right now, and that name is connected to an Israelitus, and which is God's people. You got God's people everywhere. He knows who we are. He knows what we are. And he's got people involved in some of this stuff that are his people. And that's why he says, come out. Come out. Come out of her. Come out of the church. The churches are also considered as a her. You know. So the Mashiach is supposed to be here to teach. It's in his people. It's the he and the she together. It's the ma is surrounding this whole situation. And it's all about the ox, or Yisrael, or what we believe in the Christ, or we don't believe in the Christ. We are against the Christianity, or we are not against the Christianity. And the true Creator is just wanting everybody that is his, that they know who they know on the inside who they do belong to. Well, I have a hard time talking today. They know that they belong to the Creator. Like I said, if you don't belong and you're not of the nations that he's ministering to and wanting to get his people out of this wickedness, then you're not his. You either are or you're not. And he's got a remnant. And I'm part of that remnant. And people know that I'm part of that remnant. And people don't like that. But there's nothing you can do about that. My Creator has the last say. There's one source to everything, and that source is going to have the last say. Not me, not you. That one source that creates everything. He's already looked down in the earth realm, and he knows who belongs and who doesn't. People better open their eyes from their sleep. And I'm not talking about the land of Nod. I'm not talking about any of that crap. Okay? And I'm not judging you. I don't know really even much about all of that. You know, if you're wanting to be upright, then be upright. I'm just doing what I'm hearing the Creator tell me to do on this channel. I don't hate anyone. I want people to wake up and see what's happening. Stop the wickedness. It's time for the earth to rest. It's time for the world to be caught on fire and the devil to go back to his place. Get in the fire. If you're of the devil, get in the fire. Because like I said, or I was starting to touch on, all that stuff that happened to me as a child, and all the programming that this country has been under, literally in the spirit realm, I just declared and decreed that I've never even been married then, because my steps were wickedly ordered by my parents, because the scripture said that if your parents would forsake you, I would take you up. He's taken me up, and he's taught me. His people went out into dispersion, and he put a set time on it, and he said when that time's up,